সাবস্ক্রাইব করুন ডাব্লিউবি ইংলিশ মিডিয়াম গাইড ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গল ইংলিশ মিডিয়াম বোর্ডের প্রত্যেকটি ক্লাসের সাবজেক্ট ওয়াইজ ফ্রি টিউশন পাওয়ার জন্য। আর নোটিফিকেশন বেলটি অবশ্যই প্রেস করবেন পরবর্তী ভিডিওগুলোর নোটিফিকেশন সবার আগে পাওয়ার জন্য।
হ্যালো স্টুডেন্টস, আজকে আমরা ক্লাস 6-এর সায়েন্সের চ্যাপ্টার 5 সেপারেশন অফ সাবস্টেন্সেস এটার কি করব আমরা আজকে এক্সারসাইজ করব। তো ভিডিওটা স্কিপ করো না, ভীষণ ইম্পর্টেন্ট, একটু টাফ চ্যাপ্টারটা। তো ভালোভাবে তোমরা ভিডিওটা দেখো, তাহলে কিন্তু তোমরা পুরোপুরি বুঝতে পারবে। তাহলে চলো স্টার্ট করি দ্য এক্সারসাইজ অফ সেপারেশন অফ সাবস্টেন্সেস। ফার্স্টে দেখো আছে অবজেক্টিভস। Choose the most appropriate answer. Most of the substances we see around us are mixtures. A solution of salt in water is a homogeneous mixture. The property used in separating a mixture of two solids by winnowing is difference in weight. The process of setting down of particles of a solid in a liquid is sedimentation. Which method is used to obtain a pure liquid form? A solution distillation. The temperature of a saturated solution of sugar in water is raised by 10 degrees centigrade. Which of these statements is now true? Number B, it will become unsaturated. Number 7, which of the following can dissolve in water? Number C, solids, liquids and gases. Number 8, sedimentation and decantation are useful to separate. Number D, insoluble solid from a liquid where the solid is heavier than a liquid. Number 9, a commonly used chemical for loading is option B, alum. Number 10, to get only the pure solid from its solution in water, which method will you use? Number option হবে D, none of this. Number B, very short answer questions, give one word answer. There are very few pure elements or compounds around us. Most substances are mixtures. True or false? True. The constituents of all mixtures are uniformly spread throughout the mixtures. True or false? True. Is a solution of sugar in water homogeneous or heterogeneous? Homogeneous. Number 4, name one property of a compound that remains fixed and can be used to test if the compound has impurities in it. Answer হবে melting point. Number 5, we have to separate a mixture into its constituents because only pure compounds are useful to us. Mixtures are not of much use. True or false? True. Can a mixture of sawdust and water be separated by sedimentation and decantation? No. Which method give a better separation of an insoluble solids from a liquid? Sedimentation and decantation or filtration? Answer হবে filtration. Number 8, name the method which is used to speed up sedimentation loading. Which separation method is used to separate wheat from chaff? Winnowing. Name the method used to obtain salt from seawater. Evaporation. Which method will you use to get a pure liquid from a solution containing several soluble solids in the liquid? Fractional distillation. Which apparatus is used to separate two immiscible liquids? Separating funnel. Which apparatus is used to cool the liquid vapors during distillation? Liebig's condenser. The method that can be used to separate a liquid from a mixture of miscible liquids with different boiling points is fractional distillation. Solubility of most solids in water increases with rise in temperature. True or false? True. Can water dissolve liquids and gases also? Yes. The solubility of common salt increases rapidly with rise in temperature. True or false? False. Number C. Short answer questions. You are given a sample of water. How will you find out whether it is pure or not? To find out if water is pure or not, we can measure the boiling point of the sample. If the sample boils at 100 degrees centigrade, then the water is pure. Number 2. What is the principle used in the separation of mixtures? The principles used in the separations of mixture is to obtain pure substances. To use a sieve to separate sand and rice seeds, what should be the size of the holes of the sieve in comparison to the size of sand particles and rice seeds? To separate sand from rice seeds, the holes in the sieve must be larger than the sand particles and smaller than the rice seeds so that sand particles can easily pass through the sieves, leaving behind the rice seeds. Number 4. Which property of a filter paper is used to separate an insoluble solid from a liquid? An insoluble solid can be separated from a liquid using a filter paper, as the filter paper allows the liquid to pass through it while the solid will not pass through the filter paper. Number 5. We always talk about a saturated solution at a certain temperature. Why is the temperature specified? Temperature is specified because different substances have different solubility in water. Number 6. Under which condition can hand picking be used to separate the constituents of a mixture? Hand picking can be used to separate the constituents of a mixture only when the constituents are different from the food grains in color, shape and size. Why are objects at a distance seen more clearly after rain? The dust particles mixed up with the air are separated through rain and air becomes clear, so distant objects are also seen clearly after rain. The process of adding alum to water to hasten sedimentation is called loading. Why has this name been given to the process? Alum is a solid which is soluble in water, is used to load suspended particles in water. Thus they become heavier and quickly settle down, so it is known as loading. এবার আসছি number D. What is the difference between homogeneous and heterogeneous mixtures? Give an examples of each mixtures. Homogeneous mixture, heterogeneous mixture. Number 1. The components of the mixture are uniformly distributed in the mixture. The components of a mixture are not uniformly distributed in the mixture. Example: salt dissolved in water is a homogeneous mixture. Iron filling mixed in sand is a heterogeneous mixture. List 3 properties of mixtures. Following are the properties of mixtures. The constituents of a mixture retain their individual properties as the molecules of the constituents do not changes. Number 2. The constituents of a mixture may be present in any ratio. Constituents of a mixture can be separated easily by sample methods. Number 3. Give 3 situations where it is necessary to separate a mixture into its constituents. It is necessary to separate a mixture into its constituents for the following situations: removing undesirable constituents. For example, it is desirable to remove small stones in rice or separating tea leaves from tea. To obtain useful substances, butter is obtained by churning curds. 4 আর 5 এ ডায়াগ্রাম আছে, তোমরা সেটা একটু দেখে নিও, বইতেই আছে। নাম্বার 6 হচ্ছে হাউ উইল ইউ সেপারেট আ মিক্সচার অফ গ্রাস, পেবলস অ্যান্ড স্যান্ড? To separate a mixture of grass, pebbles and sand, the first step is to pass the mixture through a fine filter. Sand will pass through the filter, leaving grass and pebbles on the filter. Then we can winnow the grass and the pebbles since they have different weights to separate them from each other. Next হচ্ছে 7. Explain how can a mixture of oil and water be separated. Pour oil and water in a separating funnel and let it stand for some time. We can clearly see two layers, water at the bottom and oil on top. Carefully turn the stopper of the funnel and allow the water to flow out into a beaker placed below the funnel. Stop the flow as soon as the layer of water reaches the stopper. The two liquids are thus separated, water being in the beaker and the oil in the separating funnel. Next হচ্ছে number 8. Why is water considered as an important solvent? Water can dissolve a large number of substances that are important for life. Waste products are also dissolved in water before they can excrete it from the body. Most of the chemical reactions in the body take place in the presence of water. Gases such as oxygen and carbon dioxide are soluble in water. This makes aquatic life possible. তাই এগুলো আজকে আমি কি করলাম, এক্সারসাইজটা কমপ্লিট করলাম। এর সাথে সাথে আমরা আজকে কিছু ইনসাইড কোয়েশ্চেন অ্যান্সারও দেখে নেব। তো চলো দেখে নিই। What are components or constituents? The different substances present in a mixture are called its components or constituents. What is homogeneous mixture? Sometimes the constituents are uniformly spread over the mixture and other part of the mixture has the same properties. Such a mixture is called a homogeneous mixture. Example, if we dissolve sugar in water, the molecules of sugar and water are evenly spread, forming a homogeneous mixture. What are heterogeneous mixture? In some mixtures, the constituents are not evenly spread throughout the mixture. And each part of the mixture does not have the same properties. Such a mixture is called a heterogeneous mixture. Example, a mixture of chalk in water and dusty air are the examples of heterogeneous mixture. Next দেখো কিছু শর্ট নোটস দিয়েছি। Winnowing is the process of separation of the heavier components from the lighter components of a mixture by wind or by blowing air. It is generally used by farmers to separate the light impurities such as husk particles from the heavy grains. Hand picking. When a small number of impure particles are present in a small quantity of a mixture and the impure particles distinguishable from the useful substance, they can be separated by hand picking. Sieving is the method of separation of fine particles from bigger particles by allowing the finer particles to pass through the holes of a sieve, leaving the bigger particles in the sieve itself. It is generally used in homes to separate flour from impurities such as piece of stone, stock and wask. What is sedimentation? When a heavier component is a mixture settles in a mixture after living in undisturbed for some times, the process is called sedimentation. What is decantation? The process of removal water after the sedimentation is called decantation. What is condensation? The process of converting vapor into water is called condensation. What is filtration? Filtration is the process by which solid particles are separated from a liquid by passing through a filter. A filter paper can be used for this purpose. Example, to separate tea leaves from tea. We pour the tea through a strainer, which is a wire or a plastic mesh. The tea leaves are left behind in the strainer and the liquid flows out. What is loading? Loading is a method of speeding up sedimentation by making the particles heavier. What is reverse osmosis? Short form holo RO. Reverse osmosis RO is a method of cleaning water for drinking. Water is passed through a special membrane called a semi-permeable membrane. It has very fine pores through which water can pass through, but not the impurities. What is added to the water to kill germs? That is chlorine. What is distillation? Distillation is a method of obtaining pure liquid from a solution. What is Liebig's condenser? Liebig's condenser is a special apparatus which is used in laboratories to get distilled water. It is filled to the flask to cool the water vapor. For which purpose a separating funnel is used? A separating funnel is used to separate a mixture of two immiscible liquids. It has a stopper which can be used to drain out the liquid at the bottom. What is fractional distillation? Two immiscible liquids that have different boiling point can be separated by a process is called fractional distillation. Which is called the universal solvent? Water. Why? Water can dissolve a large number of substances in it, so it is called the universal solvent. তো আজকে আমি সেপারেশন অফ সাবস্টেন্সেস ফুল চ্যাপ্টার প্লাস ইনসাইড কোয়েশ্চেন অ্যান্সার আমি কমপ্লিট করলাম। তোমরা যদি স্কিপ না করে থাকো তাহলে বুঝতে পারবে। আর যদি কোনো রকম কোয়ারি তোমাদের থেকে থাকে অবশ্যই আমাকে কমেন্ট বক্সে জানিও। কোনো ভিডিও যদি তোমাদের প্রয়োজন হয় যে এই চ্যাপ্টারটার ওপর, এই সাবজেক্টের এই চ্যাপ্টারটার ওপর আমার দরকার এক্সারসাইজ, অবশ্যই সাবজেক্ট চ্যাপ্টার ক্লাস পুরো মেনশন করে দেবে। আমি তাহলে সেই ভিডিওটা আমি বানিয়ে তোমাদেরকে প্রেজেন্ট করব। তো আজকে ভিডিওটা তোমরা দেখলে অবশ্যই লাইক করো, তার সাথে চ্যানেলটা সাবস্ক্রাইব করো, বেল আইকনটা প্রেস করো, যাতে প্রত্যেকটা ভিডিও নোটিফিকেশান তোমাদের কাছে সবার আগে পৌঁছাতে পারে। ডেসক্রিপশন বক্সে সাবজেক্ট ওয়াইজ প্লেলিস্ট করা আছে। কোনো ভিডিও যদি তোমাদের মিস হয়ে গিয়ে থাকে তোমরা সেখান থেকে চেক আউট করে নিও। ভিডিওগুলো তোমার বন্ধুদের সাথে শেয়ার করো, আরও বেশি বেশি করে সাবস্ক্রাইব করো। তো আজকে এইটুকুই। সবাই ভালো থেকো, সুস্থ থেকো, মন দিয়ে পড়াশুনো করো। বাই, টেক কেয়ার।